appearance in the main draw of a WTA 1000 in her young career.
I will do my best. I will try my best to again win here. But yeah, I'm going like every single match, every single point. So
yeah, you're playing about the money, so I think it can be the different also. So.
Tereza Valentova just delivered one of the most stunning upsets of the Qatar Open. And what she said afterwards about Alex Eala's fans has the tennis world talking. The Czech teenager dismantled the Filipino sensation 7-6, 6-1 on center court in Doha, silencing thousands of supporters who had transformed the arena into a sea of Philippine flags. But instead of celebrating quietly, Valentova grabbed the microphone and delivered a response that nobody saw coming. The Qatar Open had already made history before a single ball was struck.
Jo s výsledkem si myslím, že to bylo spokojenosti a s výsledkem bohužel ta hra asi úplně nebyla nejlepší, ale myslím, byly dost těžké podmínky a jsem ráda, že jsem to takhle zvládla vítězně, takže.
Tournament organizers moved Alex Eala's first-round match to center court, a decision driven entirely by the extraordinary demand surrounding the Filipino star. In the Middle East, thousands of miles from Manila, Eala's fan base had materialized with the same ferocity that had overwhelmed Melbourne just weeks earlier. The stands transformed into a wall of red, white, and blue. Filipino flags stretched across entire sections. Every point Eala won triggered eruptions that rattled through the stadium. The atmosphere resembled a Davis Cup final more than a first-round WTA match. On the other side of the net stood Tereza Valentova, a 19-year-old Czech qualifier ranked 39th in the world, playing the best tennis of her young career and walking into an arena that wanted nothing more than to witness her defeat. She won anyway. Valentova dismantled Eala with surgical precision. The first set went to a tiebreak where the Czech teenager held her nerve against a crowd willing Eala to survive. The second set was devastation, 6-1, with Valentova breaking serve repeatedly while Eala's game collapsed under the weight of expectation. When the final ball landed out, Valentova had done what few believed possible. She had silenced an arena that never wanted her to succeed. What happened next separated Valentova from ordinary competitors.
Not done yet.
6-4, Valentova.
Most players would have offered generic pleasantries and retreated to the locker room. Most players would have avoided acknowledging the elephant in the stadium, that thousands of fans had just watched their hero fall and were processing the disappointment in real time. Valentova grabbed the microphone and addressed it directly. She praised the atmosphere as amazing. She acknowledged that the entire arena wanted Eala to win. And then she said something that revealed the mental fortitude of a future champion. That she had been prepared for exactly this situation because she had faced something even bigger before. Roland Garros, 2025, first round. Valentova drew Chloé Paquet, a French woman playing in front of a home crowd, desperate to see their compatriot advance. The pressure was immense. The noise was deafening. Valentova won in 3 sets and walked off court Philippe Chatrier, having learned something invaluable about competing when nobody wants you to succeed. That experience forged the composure she displayed in Qatar. When the Filipino fans roared for Eala, Valentova didn't flinch. When the momentum threatened to shift, she steadied herself with the knowledge that she had survived worse. When the crowd groaned at her winners, she processed the sound as fuel rather than intimidation. She told the Qatar crowd that she had played in front of bigger atmospheres at the French Open, and she meant it as context, not dismissal.
She started to play a bit better, but then I started to play better like me. So it was like, yeah, we started to play better both. So yeah, it was an incredible match.
She understood what she had just walked through. She respected the passion that Eala inspires, and she refused to pretend that competing against that energy was anything less than extraordinarily difficult.
And it's 2 wins in a row over Alexandra Eala after they met back end of last season.
For Alex Eala, the defeat extends a troubling pattern that has haunted her career. The loss to Valentova marks her 11th consecutive defeat against Czech players, a streak stretching back to her ITF Tour days without a single victory.
Tereza Valentova. The first set, forgettable from her point of view, but sets 2 and 3, she really did turn it on. As ever, Alexander.
Final shot that with a little complexity. Alexandra Eala breaking in the first game of the match.
The AB list reads like a who's who of Czech tennis excellence. Markéta Vondrousová, Barbora Krejcikova, Kateřina Siniakova, names that have won Grand Slam titles and Olympic medals. Names that have consistently found ways to neutralize Eala's explosive game. Valentova herself has now beaten Eala twice in a row, having claimed victory at the Japan Women's Open last year before repeating the result in Doha. The Czech Republic has produced a generation of tactically sophisticated players who thrive on variety and court craft, precisely the style that disrupts Eala's aggressive baseline approach. Until the Filipino star solves this puzzle, the losses will continue to mount against opponents from Prague and Brno.
Eala.
But what happened in Qatar revealed something far more significant than a first-round exit or a losing streak against Czech opponents. It revealed the extraordinary power of Alex Eala's global fanbase, and the impossible emotional burden that comes with carrying the dreams of an entire nation every time she steps onto a tennis court.
Sa Pilipinas, sa mga bumiyahe, maraming salamat sa suporta. And for the people who are from not the Philippines, thank you so much.
More on that in a few moments from now. It's selfie time.
These fans travel thousands of miles. They fill stadiums in cities they've never visited. They transform neutral venues into home courts through sheer force of numbers and passion. No other player outside the absolute elite commands this kind of following. Not players ranked in the top 20, not Grand Slam champions, not anyone. Alex Eala, ranked 45th in the world, draws crowds that superstars would envy. That support is both blessing and burden. It lifts her in moments of triumph, like Miami, where the energy helped fuel her upset of Iga Swiatek. But it also amplifies the pressure in moments of struggle, when thousands of eyes watch every missed forehand and every broken serve with the weight of national expectation. Valentova recognized this dynamic immediately. She understood that Eala wasn't just playing tennis, she was performing for a country that has waited generations for a champion to celebrate on the global stage.
Appearance in the main draw of a WTA 1000 in her young career. It's victory for Tereza Valentova.
The Czech teenager left Qatar with more than a second-round berth. She left with a masterclass in mental resilience that no coaching manual can teach. She learned what it feels like to compete against belief that transcends strategy and tactics. She learned that momentum can flow from the stands as powerfully as it flows from winners and aces. She learned that some opponents carry invisible weight that makes them simultaneously more dangerous and more vulnerable.
Valentova no doubt gratefully received by Mukova, who really did catch the eye in that one. A really impressive performance and a nice exchange at the end between the pair. Clearly a lot of admiration between the two of them.
When Valentova faces hostile crowds in the future, and she will many times if her career continues on this trajectory, she will remember Doha. She will remember walking into an arena that wanted her to lose and walking out with a victory that announced her arrival as a player capable of handling the biggest moments. Alex Eala will recover. The talent is undeniable. The mental toughness has been proven in far more difficult circumstances. The fan base will travel to the next tournament and the one after that ready to lift her again. But Tereza Valentova delivered a reminder that no amount of crowd support can substitute for execution on the court. When the moment demanded composure, she found it. When the atmosphere demanded surrender, she refused.
It's very pivotal in this one. She won that tiebreak, and the second set more comfortable.
Two players left center court in Qatar with different results but shared understanding. Both know what it means to compete when the stakes extend beyond rankings and prize money. Both know that tennis becomes something larger when nations invest their hopes in individual athletes. Valentova won the match, Eala won the crowd, and the tennis world witnessed a A first-round encounter that carried the emotional weight of a championship final.
Your first time in the main draw of the Australian Open, how does that feel?
Thank you so much. Yeah, it feels amazing. I think, yeah, I didn't expect that.
At 19 years old, Tereza Valentova has reached the highest ranking of her career. If she continues handling pressure the way she handled Qatar, that number will keep climbing. Subscribe for more stories from the tennis world that go beyond the scoreline. We'll see you in the next one.